Hey guys, what's up? It's me again, the wrist guy, and today I want to show you a very special, very newly released watch, which is the very special Tudor Pelagos FXD. This watch has been announced today, a few hours back, and now I'm very glad to be able to show it to you in person, so let's do it. So before we start, I would like to thank Tudor for sponsoring this video and lending me this amazing piece. It is really an honor to be able to show this piece to you. So before I go to my opinion about the watch, let's start with the facts, shall we? So the watch as we have it here is the newly released Tudor Pelagos FXD. The reference number is M25707B/21/0001. The watch features a 42mm titanium solid block casing. It does not feature any spring bars, so the actual spring bars, if you can call them that, are actually part of the whole uniblock case. The watch features a 42mm case. It is 12.7mm thick if you don't consider the strap, and 13.5mm thick if you do include the strap. The case has a lug width of 22mm and it can suit almost any watch strap that you have, as long as it is 22mm wide. The bezel is very special. We now have a bidirectional ceramic bezel which has a countdown timer inlay, and the movement in this watch is the manufacturer caliber MT5602. It is cost certified and it has 70 hours of power reserve. So these are the facts about the watch, but there are a lot of things that do exceed the facts on the paper. So the history of Tudor dive watches reaches all the way back to the 1950s. Back then Tudor had a model that was called the Tudor Submariner, which was some kind of a brother or a sister to the Rolex Submariner. It was basically the same watch but with a different movement. And back then Tudor had a contract with the French Navy, which is called the Marine Nationale in French, and they delivered the Tudor Submariner to the French Navy. And back then, this whole mil-sub thing became a thing. So Rolex started supplying military submariners and Tudor started supplying military submariners as well. And if you look at the pre-owned market now, the old Tudor submariners, the old mil-subs are, selling for a pretty penny. And now Tudor relaunched the whole Pelagos. So people actually have been waiting for Tudor to do a new collaboration with the French Navy, which obviously they now did. And everyone thought they would do it with the Black Bay, to be honest. And I find it pretty cool that they did it with their Pelagos line. I thought that they were doing it with the Black Bay line, which they almost do every launch in. Actually, I find it quite cool that they did it with their Pelagos line, and I really get the idea because the Pelagos is their tool watch, to be honest. What they did is basically changing the whole case. The general shape is very similar, but they changed the traditional case with spring bars and lugs to a whole uniblock case. The reason why they did that is because the French Navy needs a watch that they can reliably dive with. The whole problem that you have with spring bars is they can actually go off if you are not careful with it. And of course, for obvious reasons, the French Navy needs the most robust case that they can get their hands on, which is a uniblock case. So this watch does not have any kind of spring bars whatsoever. It only has a case with two rectangular holes in it, where you can actually put the strap through. The watch comes with two straps. We have one Velcro NATO strap, which the ones that are watching my videos for a bit longer know that I am a huge fan of, because I personally love Velcro straps. They are so easy to use, they're so nice, they have this kind of tool watch flair to them, and it's just something that no one bothers to do, and I don't know why, to be honest, and I really like it that Tudor did that. And it shows that they're really looking for a practical tool watch in this case and not a fashion statement. So first we have the Velcro NATO strap, which I have on this piece right here. Don't bother that the second head is not moving. This one is a dummy piece. It does not have a movement in it, but you can get the idea. So the second strap that you are getting when buying this watch is a new rubber strap. And it is not the rubber strap that you may know. It is a very thin rubber strap. It is some kind of a NATO rubber strap. They actually strengthened the rubber strap with some kind of fiber. I don't know what it is actually, but they say they strengthened it, and the rubber strap does have a pin buckle. Another thing that I really like about this watch is the finishing of the case. So as I already mentioned, the monoblock case is made out of titanium. So it is a fully titanium watch, which also plays into the whole tool watch thing that they're going on. And the case is fully brushed. No polished surfaces whatsoever, which actually I don't think the French Navy needs any polished surfaces, to be honest. So a brushed surface it is. The dial and the bezel have a very unique color to them. So they're not the same color as the regular blue Pelagos. Let me show you. So the watch here is the regular blue Pelagos, which you can buy, and the watch here is the new Pelagos FXD. And you can clearly see that the blue tones are very, very different. So while the regular blue Pelagos has more of a fun blue, it's a lighter blue, it reminds me of holiday. The FXD model has a very, very toned down blue, which you can almost call like a navy blue, royal blue. It is very serious in tone, and I think it fits the watch quite well. This watch, also like the regular Pelagos, features a fully loomed bezel. In this case, the bezel has indications all around. The regular one only has indications up to 15 minutes, as you can see here. And this one has minute markings all over the place. That's because this is not a regular diving bezel. This watch features a countdown bezel. This has its roots in counting down stuff, yes, obvious. But in this case, Tudor worked with the French Navy and they said, you know what? Our guys need to navigate underwater, and what they need to do is complete a series of straight swims guided by a magnetic compass. They swim at a constant speed for a set time in each section, completing as many sections as necessary whilst timing each one exactly. So what they do is basically, let's say they have to swim to the right. I'm sure they're navigating like to the right, guys, or to the left, guys. Let's say they're swimming to the right and they have to swim for like 15 minutes to the right. So what they would do is just turn the bezel and set the 15-minute mark right on the minute hand. And what they can see then is when the minute hand meets the triangle at 12, which is usually at 12, they know that the 15-minute section is over and they can change directions to more to the left, guys. So that's basically the countdown timer. What you can use it for in everyday life is counting down stuff, like the egg timer or something like that. The handset is the same one which they already have been using in the Pelagos line, so it features the famous snowflake hand, for which Tudor is famous for quite some time actually. It is very, very legible, and the whole purpose of this watch is to be extremely legible. It is a no-nonsense tool watch whatsoever, and this is also the thing that I really, really adore about this watch, to be honest. It fits very weirdly on the wrist. So the regular Pelagos is way too big for me. It is a 42mm watch. It is very, very thick, so the regular one has a thickness of 14.2mm. This new one has only, as I mentioned, 12.7mm of thickness, or if you include the strap, only 13.5mm in thickness. It is quite a lot thinner than the regular Pelagos, but the lug to lug is bigger. And also the bezel is bigger because the bezel is wider than the case itself. But for whatever reason, I don't know what kind of black magic they did on that, it wears smaller than the regular Pelagos. I'm serious, look at it. You can see it on my wrist right now. It looks smaller, it wears a lot more comfortable, and I don't know how they did it, but as a result, you have a bigger watch that is more easily legible and wears smaller and wears more comfortable, but you can read it a lot easier because it is bigger actually a little bit. You have no date on the new watch. It is quite polarizing. I personally like date windows because it gives the watch a lot more practicality in everyday life, but I totally get the idea why you would exclude a date window on a military tool watch, because no soldier needs to know the date when they're on a mission underwater diving. Actually, I like that. And another thing, I assume when you're diving underwater, you need to be tracking time very, very precisely, to be honest, as precise as you can imagine. And the date window would actually cover up some dial and minute space. And maybe that's the practical reason why they actually did not do that. And maybe a date complication is one part that can actually break, and you don't need to have stuff that breaks. So the old Tudor Marine National watches, or usually every military issue watch, has a military engraving on the back, and this one is no exception to that. So here you can see it quite clearly. We have firstly the logo of the Marine National. It says Depuis 1620. 6, I believe. I need glasses. And it says MN21. So MN obviously stands for Marine Nationale, and the old watches also had this whole MN and then the issue date or the issue year of the watch, for example MN75 back then. And this one now has MN21, and I really like that because I think they will continue that to MN22, and that would be awesome. So in a couple of years you will exactly know when your military issue watch has been produced. The one caveat you have when you have a case that is a little bit thinner, it is no longer 500 meters water resistant, it only is 200 meters water resistant. So you really lose a little bit of that practicality, but to be honest, in everyday life 200 meters is plenty enough for desk diving and washing hands, so it should be no problem at all. What I really like about it too is the pricing actually, because this watch has a retail price of 3,650 euros including both straps. It is no limited edition, it is a regular production model, but I believe it will be very limited in supply and the waiting lists are already to the moon, I assume. The pricing is a lot less than the regular Pelagos. So the regular Pelagos has a retail price of 4,290 euros. So we are around like 600 euros more affordable. I really like that because Tudor could have easily made it a lot more expensive because it is a real military issue watch, but they didn't. And I really like that because it really suits the whole tool watch thing, because it is a tool and it is not a fashion statement, it is not a luxury piece, it is a tool, therefore it needs to be as expensive as it needs to be, but it also has to be as affordable as they can make it. And I really like that move. So that's been it, guys. I really like this watch. I really do. Because now Tudor has like two very likable watches in their lineup. So first you have the Black Bay 58, which is a very good tool watch and a very capable tool watch. But it is actually a tool watch that looks back. It is something like a modern reissue of a vintage piece. So it is not made to be worn really by divers, by professional divers. And then Tudor made the Pelagos FXD, which is the most tool watch you can get right now from Tudor. It is absolutely no nonsense whatsoever. It is even more tool watch than the already pretty much tool watch Pelagos, if you know what I mean. They really stripped down everything and I really like that. The one thing I do not like about this watch is that they did not use the new META certified movement. I don't know why that is. Maybe it is because they needed a thinner movement. I don't know what the idea is, but I would have liked it to be META certified and a master chronometer that would have kicked it up a notch. But this is plenty enough for most people, and that's why I really like this watch. So guys, that's been it. Thank you so much again for watching. Thank you also Tudor for lending me this amazing piece. I know it has no movement in it, but it is still an amazing piece. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and share, and please subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content on Tudor and other luxury watches. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Stay healthy. Bye bye.